Oh shit. Well, at the very least, does it have like a big padlock on it?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna try and smash it off. At least let them get out.
Roll an attack roll.
Ooh, no.
I will say also before you do this, that it doesn't seem that they're in immediate danger. They're just scared of the fire.
Oh, okay. Well, still never stand. Well, and I missed anyway. I rolled a 3.
I mean, you get a glancing knock on it. It seems kind of damaged. Maybe if you swung at it again, you could get it off.
Shit.
Okay. An 11 plus my bajillion.
Yeah. So you just clean hack this thing off, and the gate, like, you see the lock and shatter, but it's still kind of locked. You gotta.
Okay. Is it like a yank it open or like?
It's kind of like a slide deadbolt.
Oh, okay. Well, do I need to hit it again?
No.
Okay. Well, I'll just open it though, to just like so they can get away.
So
all scared of the fire.
It kind of like sits in the back of the cage, and as you open it, you throw it open. It kind of like takes one glance at you, and then just hauls ass off into the forest.
Well, why were they holding on to wolves here anyway? That's weird. I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Find anything to carry water?
No.
Can I try to find something? Some buckets?
Sure, do an investigation check for me.
Okay. It's a 3.
You don't find much else than what Miriam did.
I didn't find shit.
During all of this, I've just kind of collapsed and started praying. From the moment I got there, just...
Roll a religion check for me.
17.
17.
I think. Hold on. Double check. Yeah, 17.
So...
I'm sorry. 16.
16?
Yeah.
So you kind of give your plea up to Melandru, and you remember and think back to kind of just the cycle of rebirth of nature. And you know that while fire can be catastrophic, it can also bring life. And in that moment, you kind of take heartening in that, and you know that Melandru and the grand scope of things would be okay with this.
Okay. So, I send up some praise to her, finish, kind of collect myself, and then I guess I stand up and notice them running around kind of frantically.
Yeah.
What do we do? I don't know what to do.
Alright guys, it's okay.
Are you sure? That's
I,
a temple.
it's the cycle of life, and though it hurts, I have to respect it. So, there's not really much we can do at this point. Did you just rescue a wolf?
Yeah.
Thank you.
As you do that,
I
you
appreciate
kind of look at the other one that's still in the other cage, and it's kind of whining a little bit.
Okay, well, I didn't realize they weren't in the same cage. I'll get that one out too.
Okay, for the sake of brevity, you
I did it.
You did it. It shoots off into the night.
Is this a thing? That... Why? Just why?
Well, I think from the conversation I heard earlier, I think we at least murder-lated the people who did it. So,
Well,
you know, there's that. We got them.
Does she have enemies?
Melandru?
Yes.
Gotcha. Guess probably. Most gods do.
Despite the kind of inner battles between, ideology amongst the gods, they're kind of one cohesive unit. But the enemy of all gods, which you would know, is Abaddon.
Abaddon. Would I know if this is something they would pull off?
I mean, you wouldn't. This doesn't have like a direct correlation. It just sacrilegious, not intent. If that makes sense.
Might be because of the logging.
The general feeling that you guys get is that it may have just been the biggest and easiest thing to burn.
Yeah.
And also the small, that the Melandri's temples are places of peace and comfort. And so it would also make for just a good camp in general.
You know what just occurred to me? Of course the people called the Char would do this.
A little on the nose, I think.
Okay, but it's also my temple, so...
Well, I mean, for them, like, to name themselves the Chore, just like, real creative, guys.
Our thing is burning shit.
Yeah.
Assholes. Okay. Well, over time it will regrow, and if it, for whatever reason, doesn't, I will just have to come back when I'm an archdruid and fix it myself.
Okay.
Put a comforting hand on Sylvis's shoulder.
Okay.
Let's both look on into the bonfire.
I've gone from absolute depression to a little bit of determination.
You feel it, don't you?
Plant all the trees!
As soon as I get some actual like plant growth abilities, you bet your ass that's what's happening.
Hell yeah.
So, as you guys kind of take some time and you kind of come to, give a pat on the back to Sylvis, I'll be rolling investigation or perception check.
Perception. Shit.
15.
So
13.
Miriam, kind of with the dying embers of the light, you kind of do a once over of the camp again, and you notice towards kind of the waterfall that's behind the camp, path seems to be like a little bit worn between the waterfall and the camp. You also notice that there is a kind of a much larger tent, kind of set off to the side than some of the other tents. But just from like standing on kind of the ring of this is what you notice just as a once over.
So, yeah,
The head honcho's camp.
well, yeah, I'm gonna move over there then. And just, nobody went to sleep yet.
I'd say for you guys took a short rest.
Yeah.
So if you want to roll hit dice, anything that comes back on a short rest, you would have gotten.
Trying to remember what
Good. I'm good.
double check.
Everybody else good? I mean, obviously not.
Emotionally, no, but I think as far as short rest goes, I think that counts as a long rest for me, was the whole thing. Let me double check, though.
I mean, were you able to meditate?
Well, yeah, it wasn't, like, the most restful.
Yeah.
I imagine it's like when you
You
sleep
did
and then
pray.
you, have, like, a nightmare.
Right.
Okay, yeah. A short rest is how many hours? 4?
Short rest is like 30 minutes to an hour.
Oh, okay. So no, I didn't get my full, because it would have to be for 4 hours. Is how long my trance is supposed to last to get the full benefits. So let's go to my druid page and see what that means.
Oh, no, I always have the like dreams where I get swarmed by zombies or whatever kind of monster, and they get me.
Oh
But
God.
then the rest of the dream is me being the monster and just enjoying it for some reason. I don't know. I don't.
That's
wrong
a
with that
real
deal, buddy?
dream you're having?
Yeah, like there was a zombie apocalypse, and I was like running for my life. I was scared as shit because the zombies were chasing me and stuff. And once they got to me, it was horrifying. But then I was a zombie, and I was just shambling around. It was just like, okay.
Write a script.
You should
God.
see somebody about that.
You're
Also,
not supposed
write
to
a
die in
script.
your dreams. That's like a bad juju.
Right.
It was just that one
Well,
time.
does undeath count?
I guess it negates some of it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go to the big tent because I'm a sucker for things.
Okay. So as you kind of walk down, and the you still hear the kind of occasional pop and crackle from this giant tree.
That's on camera.
And one day, maybe 3 years from now, might end up on YouTube because I'm terrible about uploading. You guys, you walk into this tent, and it's pretty grandiose. You kind of open it, and remembering back to hobgoblins and orcs, this is definitely not the type of
Little fancy.
little fancier for the general
Yeah.
feeling that you get from those two types. As you do, you kind of enter it, and you see a nice looking cot. You see kind of like some nice furs, some bear furs put on the floor, and you see like a table set up on the corner,
A table set out of
just in the corner,
set.
with a couple of books kind of just like stacked up on this desk.
Books. That's all hobgoblins do.
I'm gonna look at books.
As you walk over, what languages do you speak?
All of them.
Draconic, Dwarvish, and Common.
All of them.
So as you kind of go through them, a lot of them don't really make a whole lot of sense to you, but one of them does, and you see kind of some old dwarvish writing that's in a dialect that you don't really
Yeah, my
know.
Dwarvish is a little bit rusty.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
That's
like, it's a lot of like local
Yeah.
theory.
I get my wild shapes back for short rest.
That's what I thought.
God, that took forever to find.
Wow.
But you see a book with some dwarven script on the spine.
Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna open that then. See how much I can actually read of it.
Okay.
I just
You open it up and you kind of do some cursory glances.
Apparently, I'm still 5 years ago when Ed's
Roll me an intelligence check with advantage.
Okay.
In my heart,